that's some good content hair.
That's content hair.
That's content hair.
And it was made with all natural boy oil. If you've spent literally tens of seconds scrolling the Snyder Cut subreddit, you may be familiar with incels. These fucking guys hate women. And I'll be honest, men and basically anyone else who rejected them in life. Now, I'm not one to resort to bullying, and in fact today I would never ever say anything bad about these guys, even though they would easily and quickly attack me just for having the audacity to wear deodorant. But just for a treat today, I figure if you can't beat them, join them. There's a phrase I've heard going around a lot in these online circles, which, to clarify, I'm not a part of. I'm just sort of a bird watcher of the incel community. The high value male. Now, not knowing what that meant, I always thought, hey, I'm one of them. Not monetarily, but my kidneys are in pretty good nick. However, this, like a disappointingly large amount of my research, has little to nothing to do with the black market organ trade.
So, like, is there a point to any of this, or are we just like rambling?
So we're just having a good time. You know, just hanging out in this room talking about incels. And I would like to clarify, there is no such thing, before we get into this, as a high value male or female, unless you're reporting on a beef auction, in which case they still aren't excited that you call them that and take them home. But some of them have decided that they're better than others and that others aren't better than them. Now, believe you me, I know what it means to have a man movement, but some of these fellas on the internet seem to think it has nothing to do with a Weet-Bix-fueled bowel movement. Which is odd, because they both involve exuding only shit. An offshoot term of the manosphere, or I believe manosphere.
Try a British accent.
I can't do a British accent. An offshoot term of the manosphere. That's an Italian accent, isn't it?
That sound Italian.
It's my British is Italian. Dating back to the year 0 AD, the term was initially crafted by a young Jesus Christ who referred to himself as basically God's gift to the world. At the time, people thought he was referring to the actual world that we all live on. However, modern masculinity scholars now believe he was referring to the world of finance. Look, it's totally okay to find friend groups online. However, the second those friend groups start saying that they're better just because they're, quote, taking responsibility for their own actions and taking accountability as two separate points, it might be time to polish off the old mirror in the Mind Palace.
Wait.
Honestly, the male pole vault is going to be dog shit. They just set the bar a little bit higher, fellas. Both of these are good things to be. However, in reality, it turns out that the guys who are saying this are just using them as false red flags so they can become the arbiters of poontang. Some of these guys have fallen so deep into the rabbit hole of being good dudes that they've come all the way back around into violence against women. And that's where this story starts to get a little bit less fun. Not all men, no, but too many men. Intimate partner violence is one of the leading causes for injury, disability, and death in women aged 25 to 44, more than any other preventable risk factor. Reading all of the countless blog posts made by fellas who think this way just shows the reality. 95% of these men didn't have to be the villain. They were just lost and scared and confused and looking for a place to validate their pre-existing opinions. However, by falling into these chambers, they've been pushed further and further and further into these opinions, which is just directly resulting in them living long enough to become the villains of their own story and of everyone else's. They're deeply sad and made even sadder by being charged $18,000 to be sent to a boot camp to be made into better, stronger men. The anti-feminism and anti-woman sentiment held by a lot of these guys is a product of exactly how broken they feel due to a number of very complex societal issues. And finding their echo chamber like this is an easy escape from the horrors of the world. They can feel nice and secure and safe in their opinions. And that's exactly why creators, no matter the size, like Isaac Butterfield, need to provide an alternative space for these men to have healthy conversations about these issues, rather than just falling deeper and deeper into a dark echo chamber and then being told to pay money to get out of it.
Insert clip of him calling women horrible names in the clips you're reacting to.
My master's dissertation, and this is not a joke, was a feminist queer analysis of the historical links between witches and cats.
Well, you're a
I know what the next word is and I'm not happy, Joey. Speaking of, yeah, Isaac Butterfield fans, I know this video wasn't the best quality that we've ever done. That's why we're doing this now. But
this is medium quality.
This is medium quality, just you wait. But these comments are much, much lower quality.
Speak for Joseph here. Never said he'd win.
No.
Never once. Never once
In fact,
did we say he would win. Never.
We actively said he would lose.
We know he would lose. Isaac Butterfield is 6 foot fucking heaps. Like,
Wide.
he's a stonky boy.
He's a strong boy.
He's a strong man. He would flatten Joseph. And that's the point. It
That's
would
the
be
point.
entertaining.
Is comedy, Isaac? Ever heard of it? So
Yes, these are meant to be jokes.
these are meant to be jokes. Please don't hit Joey unless it's for money. So
Specifically charity money.
we don't want your money because we're not about grifting people to get them out of male loneliness. Ask not what Patreon can do for you, but what you can do for our Patreon.
No, Archie, come back.
Archie.
Oh, I was gonna...
Yeah! We need to offer an alternative space to allow men to heal. I would like to clarify, just for the audience who may be confused about this, just because men are feeling sad or disparaged by society, that is still not an excuse to hit women. I'd argue there is no excuse to hit a woman unless you're a woman boxer.
Yeah, man.
Like, as in
Professional
a
fighter.
professional UFC fighter who happens to be a
Fighting
woman fighting another woman.
Well, I mean, if you're
Or I guess whoever wants to fight.
that woman, if it's an organized fight,
If it's an organized fight, go to town.
go to town. As long as
I
the
will
other
say-
person knows that they're about to get punched.
That's the importance of consent. So what makes these boys so darn expensive? And what makes me worse than them? Some of them may say it's because I'm a woke lefty snowflake. Others may say it's because I'm a lefty woke snowflake. And others still may say it's because I have female friends. So why am I really low value? I decided to ask a reliable source. The r/purple pill subreddit. Oh no, the purple pill subreddit blocked me. Who'd have thunk it? It's almost as if they could see through my whimsy. And they were exactly as helpful as I expected them to be, which is just slightly more helpful than the r/red pill subreddit, which is on fire. I love that it's good iconography co-opted by dipshits. But I can't trust random strangers on the internet, so I went to a much more reliable source. A dating site's questionnaire. Would just like to quickly point out that 99% of these questions were multiple choice in the way of 3 of them being just things an asshole would do, and then 1 of them being something that a regular fucking guy would do. So I wouldn't call it a high value quiz so much as it is, hey, should you be in prison? But turns out, ladies, I'm an 81 out of 100, so it's pretty bloody high value. Well, that just reinforced my pre-existing opinions. Thank God. So, while I go and buy myself a new cuck chair, I'm going to go and... I forgot the rest of that line. I just remembered the cuck chair joke. Let's talk about a better way of thinking.
But what's a better way of thinking?
I'm so glad you asked in a not at all patriotic... I'm so glad you asked...
What's a better way of thinking?
Quietly. No, not you quietly, just thinking quietly. A lot of the points that these guys make are just basically tips for being a good bloke. Accountability, generosity, and being self-driven. But unfortunately, these ideas are brewed through so much misogyny that I'm surprised they haven't turned into IPAs. But, men of the audience, I have good news for you. Because no one is actually higher value than anyone else. We are, all of us, just a bunch of chemicals swarming around in our brain telling us to eat, drink, shag, and be merry. Some of us more than others. Finding a community to lift you up is a very good thing. And having a room full of hype men is addictive. And that's why it can be so dangerous. When one of your mates starts saying or doing something troubling, call them out. Because kindness is the most important thing that you can add into this world to raise your value. It is much, much kinder to call one mate out for being a bit of a dickhead than to let him go out into the world and spread that further.
Hey, that's like what we did recently.
Hey, that's us.
Hey.
Are we high value men?
What?
Oh, no, never.
No. Because a high value man, like a true, like an actual good value human being, doesn't fucking base their entire personality on being a high value man. They just like try to be a good person.
Well, fuck me, hey? Who'da thunk it? It's almost like being a good person should be the goal, rather than any pseudo-scientific judgment of yourself based on some other metrics created by dipshits online? That's something to think about. This has been the Bloke Agenda. I have been Kieran MacLeod.
My name is Joel Lamont. I have a YouTube channel that's mostly occupied by John Wick fans, so please somebody else join.
Now that's a high-value man.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan Wick.
I beg, the ballerina review is gonna lose me a lot of subscribers and maybe get me a fucking strike, so we need more subscribers.
You can subscribe to us on Patreon, and you can follow Ibis Community Media. Ooh, if you're a big fan of bin chickens, because we've bin chicken you out. Fucking hell. No.
You will bin chicken us out. This is where you should put your end screen. Like you've got like some your channel stuff.
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't go much longer than 10 seconds.
So
probably around about
now?